Art can be daring. Art can be decadent. Art can be reckless.
It is dangerous when I paint.
Art can be sexy.
There's something really special about burlesque.
Art is everywhere.
Yay!
And today we take a trip down the aisle for the art of weddings. First, jeweler Michael Bogosian, who designs stunning engagement and wedding rings.
I make one-of-a-kind jewelry. I express myself through my designs. When they said, why Michael B., they say because it's the best.
Then Claire Pettibone, a dress designer whose gowns combine vintage romance with a bohemian spirit.
I love that a dress can be formal and casual at the same time, that you can feel very dressed up, very much a bride, but still has a relaxed, kind of cool vibe to it.
Plus, Beth Helmstetter, a wedding planner whose celebrations are an experience no guest will ever forget.
Creating an environment where everyone walks away and says kind of that was the best wedding I've ever gone to.
That's all next on The Art of Weddings. The first step on the road to a wedding is finding a beautiful ring. And Michael Bogosian has been designing this wearable art for over 35 years.
Anything I created, I wanted to put out that everything had to be, wow, had to be different, had to be beautiful. It's good enough doesn't work in my shop. I'm Michael B. I'm a jewelry designer. I make one-of-a-kind jewelry. I provide the best workmanship. I provide the best of the diamonds. If I produce the ring for my client that I didn't think it was perfect before they even see it, I break it and make a new one. When they said, why Michael B., they say because it's the best.
Michael was born into the jewelry business, but was more interested in the design aspect than the selling aspect.
I started the jewelry trade when I was age of 11 years old in Istanbul, Turkey. My father, he had a store there, and I was not interested in the store part of it, but I was more interested in how to make part of it. Age of 15 to 16, I opened my personal shop in Turkey, independently working for stores making jewelry. When I decided I didn't want to stay in Turkey, at 17, I came over here. So with $75 in my pocket, I took all my experiences and I rented this place for $180 a month. I had a son, which his name was Matthew. That's why you see Matthew's jewelry. And I put a bench in the window, and I was in the window making jewelry. It was challenging times. I have a wife and a kid, and a lot of ambition.
He couldn't make it on ambition alone. Michael enlisted the help of his wife, Aida, to grow his empire from the ground up.
I'm Aida Bogosian. I'm Michael B.'s wife. We create a lot of amazing memories here. I mean, I come from a diamond background. My father was a rough buyer in Africa, so I was born in the diamond business. So when I do work with a couple looking to buy an engagement, a Michael B. engagement ring, I make little notes for them when I'm talking to them about diamonds, and they take these little scrap pieces of paper and they put them in their scrapbooks, in their wedding scrapbooks. And so the impressions we leave in their lives on their first very important purchase. I help do that. It's great.
Each of the dazzling engagement and wedding rings originates as an idea in Michael B.'s mind.
Designing an engagement ring, it has to be simple. You know, you cannot have overpowering engagement ring. You want to balance out your diamond. They want to have simplicity in the ring so the diamond will stand out very nicely. The next design that I'm working on, I start making a little sketching, and all I need is a couple of segments of the design that I'm going to do that will give me an idea where I'm going with it. You may not see anything, but I see a lot. This idea gives me an idea how my hands are going to work.
When people don't have ideas, Michael has plenty. He's always thinking and dreaming, and his thoughts are always creating. Everything is very, very special.
Every Michael B. ring is designed, made, and created on site.
Here, he's melting the metal and get into the form of a wire right now. You melt it, you pour it, and then it goes into this form. This is the beginning of the process. Everything gets smaller.
Once the metal has cooled, it's rolled into a wire, which is then coiled and turned into a band. Michael oversees this process and then begins to carve out areas for the diamonds to be placed.
This is my little half-round file, and the half-round file creates this design right here. Then we continue the same design in the next segment here. I will be taking this design and putting a very miniature, tiny, smaller version of it into the basket where the diamond is going to come and sit on top of it. We put a lot of effort and then try to make things that they're kind of difficult.
The diamond setters painstakingly set the precious stones, which Michael B. makes sure are coming from clean sources and aren't illicitly mined.
This is the main part of our work, the diamond setting. I have another setter over there, and they take great pride in their work, and everything has to come out to perfection. The diamonds have to have a conflict-free. It comes from proper sources. Our diamond dealers, they are liable for what they say it is. Why should not have conflict-free diamond? It's basically, I'm not here to buy something that is not coming from the proper sources.
This commitment to excellence produces the one-of-a-kind rings, which Michael B. has become famous for.
This goes way back with the history of Michael B. It's called the lace collection. It's got these little segments that wrap around the shank of a ring. It's like lace. When you see someone wearing this ring, you know it's a Michael B. I call this the Cinderella three-sided princess ring. It's very simple, but it has 3 sides of diamonds on the shank. We do it sometimes with diamonds and sometimes plain. Beautiful. Everything's custom, handmade, handmade, handmade. Our engagement rings are specially made for the center stone. It's not something that cookie cutter you have, you pop a stone in and, you know, there goes a ring. It doesn't work that way with Michael B.
I express myself through my designs, my taste, my vision. The art of wedding is very personal. It's so unique, and it's every individual girl has their own dreams.
Art of the wedding rings that Michael B makes, they're timeless. They're gonna be there forever. They're like the future heirlooms that will be handed down to generations to come.
Coming up, no wedding is complete without finding the perfect gown.
Every person is unique, every wedding is unique. That's kind of what I love about this job. Keeps me motivated and inspired.
Then, a wedding event designer who takes the stress out of planning the special day.
Brides all over the nation appreciate the ability to create a beautiful environment where everyone walks away with an amazing memory.
That's all next on The Art of Weddings. Welcome back to The Art of Weddings. Claire Pettibone is one of the top wedding dress designers in the country, bringing a fresh vintage style to the scene.
There's no more important dress than a wedding dress. It's the most thought, care, sometimes obsession that goes into this article of clothing. I'm Claire Pettibone, and I am a designer. I specialize in bridal gowns, veils, accessories, lingerie, basically anything romantic. I have a different approach to wedding gowns. I feel like a woman should look very feminine and soft and romantic, and I love that a dress can be formal and casual at the same time, that you can feel really beautiful, very dressed up, very much a bride, but still comfortable, still has a relaxed, kind of cool vibe to it. And also what I love is when a bride really looks like herself. It looks like her best self. It doesn't look like she's playing dress up.
Each season, Claire's line tells a unique story, and it all starts with a mood board where she places different pieces of inspiration.
It kind of started with some of these paintings. from the Dutch era of, grandmaster still lifes. So then it's just a matter of collecting fabrics, little pieces of laces, and every season it's a little different where I draw my inspiration from. Then I begin to design the fabrics. I started developing the fabrics from the embroideries, incorporating floral motifs in them. So when my fabric comes in, the first thing I want to do is start playing with it. And I love to drape on the mannequin to just get a sense of, what I might do with this fabric. I definitely start with kind of a silk underlayer just to give me a base to work from. I really use this first kind of draping process as part of the design. So I might just drape fabric on my mannequin and then start sketching. A lot of times I'll just do a little sketch like this where it's just the garment very simply drawn with the notes that I remember what things I want to try. And then I go to the sketching stage of really kind of mapping out what the dress is going to look like and choosing the specific fabric for it. We use, of course, 100% silks, beautiful embroideries. Embroideries, actually, I get to really create a piece of art and then have it made into a fabric.
Today, Claire helps a bride-to-be find the perfect dress to wear on her walk down the aisle.
You can come on out. We're gonna have you step right up here.
Wow.
I know, she looks pretty amazing.
It's gorgeous.
Wow, thank you. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
So this is a beautiful embroidery and it's lined in silk. It's called Orange Blossom, so the flowers kind of definitely fit your garden outdoor feeling.
This is like just what I was looking for.
I'm a wedding dress designer. I feel like maybe partially because of fate. I went to a wedding when I was 4 years old at St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York. And I was so blown away by that wedding. I just was so struck by that bride, like the idea of that whole ceremony and just her in that gown. And so after that, I started just drawing wedding gowns. I literally just was kind of obsessed with the bride. It didn't occur to me until many, many, many years later that that was a profession.
This gown is called Mariposa.
This has a little bit of a mermaid silhouette where it kind of hugs the figure and then flares out a little bit at the bottom. This is definitely accentuating, your hourglass shape.
I love this look. This is stunning.
Every person is unique, every wedding is unique. I mean, we do petite brides, full figure brides, young brides, mature brides. That's kind of what I love about this job too, is that it never gets boring. It's always something new. I love that variety. Keeps me motivated and inspired.
Wow.
Oh, look at you, how beautiful.
I just feel like a princess.
I think it has a little bit of a sweeter quality about it than maybe the other two.
Absolutely.
When brides finally do say yes to that dress for their special day, it is really wonderful. Sometimes we all have to reach for tissues. It's a really great moment to get to share with them.
So Katie, what do you think?
Oh my God, there's just something about this dress. I'm just falling in love with it.
That's really
I think
important.
I'm gonna choose this one.
Yay!
I'm so
Congratulations!
excited. It just feels perfect. I feel just so great in it.
Beautiful.
I know it'll be just right for the day.
When that dress is selected, I think the reality sort of sinks in that this is really gonna happen. It's not just in my mind, but it's happening in the real world that I'm gonna get married in this dress. So it's pretty cool.
Thank you both so much. This is just the best experience.
You're so welcome. Pleasure.
Claire's use of color, couture details, lace, and embroidery has created a signature style of wedding gowns that are truly remarkable.
All of this effort, all of this work, all of this attention to detail and thought goes into this to celebrate this wedding. And it does become kind of a little work of art. Two people saying they're gonna love each other for the rest of their lives doesn't happen every day. It's a big deal. So when it does happen, it's important. It's not just a business. It's not just making a dress. So I think that whenever you do something that you really, truly, soulfully love, that it comes through in the work.
Coming up, Beth Helmstetter designs charming and timeless celebrations that make a wedding unforgettable.
Every couple that comes in our door, they're hoping to tell a different story about who they are as a couple, who they are aesthetically. We really help them create that.
That's all next on The Art of Weddings. Welcome back to The Art of Weddings. To ensure a wedding ceremony is an unforgettable celebration, many people enlist the help of a planner like Beth Helmstetter, whose luxurious style has defined weddings around the world.
Every couple that comes in our door, they're hoping to tell a different story about who they are as a couple, who they are aesthetically. We really help them create that. I'm Beth Helmstetter, owner of Beth Helmstetter Events. We've really established ourselves as a design team that helps create luxurious events that are still refined but approachable. Whether we have 20 people or 200, we're always kind of working for ways to make sure the day is memorable and charming and reflects the couple's personalities.
Beth enjoys helping couples find unique and creative ways to express themselves during their wedding ceremonies.
I have brides who are accountants and lawyers, and this is the one creative thing that they get to do. So now it's all about how personal it can be, down to, what is their bouquet gonna be, the ribbon the bouquet is gonna be wrapped in, how is the food gonna be presented to our guests. We're just always coming from that perspective of how can we make this your wedding, as well as anticipating guest needs and creating an environment where we've thought of everything. We just always want it to be something everyone walks away from and says kind of that was the best wedding I've ever gone to.
Beth didn't always know she wanted to plan elegant weddings for a living.
I started actually in the nonprofit industry, working on fundraising events and things of that nature. I stumbled into weddings. I started doing day of coordination for a private estate, and what I found is it just incorporated a lot of different elements of things that I enjoyed. Food and beverage, customer service, romance, obviously, design, photography, the arts, all of those things were kind of thrown together into one career, and then I started my business. I think it's really great to have a wedding planner. They take a lot of legwork off of the couple. If a couple tells me a style that they want, I already instantly know where I can get the china, the chairs, the florals, the stationery. I have all of those resources at the tip of my fingers, whereas a couple would have to be like, look at 10 different rental companies and try to figure out who has what and all of that good stuff. When it's all said and done, we just want our clients to have had a relaxed, low pressure, stress-free experience.
There's a lot of work that goes into creating a celebration unique to each and every couple.
Each wedding has a story to tell, so every couple that comes to us has a different vision of how they want to kind of share their world. We, listen to what their vision is, and we pull it all together to try to create a cohesive look and feel for the day. We need to start the sketches for Jennifer and Eric. For the ceremony, we're thinking these chairs, so we want to go with the X-Back Weatherwood. Everything's going to feel rustic. It's out at Saddle Rock, so it's going to feel rustic and organic. Sketches are what we use to create when we want to sit down with a client and say, okay, here's what we're really visualizing for you based on what you've told us you're hoping for. And it really helps us articulate kind of what's in our head, making sure that's the same thing in their head. So we show that with swatches, flowers, lots of textiles, those type of things, so they can kind of get a drawing of the overall, but also touch and feel as many things as possible. She's really into lace, so I think we should use this as an example if we can show any texture. And perhaps we could show her chiffon as well. I mean, she's going to be making these decisions when she sees the drawings, of course. So,
Right.
the chiffon would be really beautiful too. So we're going to use these on shepherd's hooks both down the aisle. Because everything's custom, it's really hard for us to show everything that they're getting. So the renderings really help communicate that.
With designs in hand, Beth is ready to present her vision to the bride-to-be.
When a client first hires us, trust is basically everything. It's a lot of visuals to communicate. the renderings and lookbooks and graphics we use to communicate what we think they're saying. So we'll have the main cake in the middle and then the 2 side cakes. And we have it on a beautiful wood table similar to the florals that we'll look at, kind of overgrown with moss and some branches over top.
Okay, I like that.
Okay. Then the brides have the opportunity to say, this is perfect, this is exactly what we want, or it's not necessarily what we have in mind, and we go from there.
When she can, Beth will go the extra mile and bring to life the design sketched out for her clients.
Okay, so this is what we've been kind of talking about based on our drawings and all of our communication. This is how we've pulled everything together.
I really like it.
Is it kind of what you expected?
I really love the gold accent. Best method of presentation is unlike any other planner. She brings in all the tabletop, the actual flowers, the actual glasses you're going to be using, so you really get to see everything instead of picking from pictures or picking from a sample.
So we've got the pressed vintage glass, and we just want to make sure that you see that they're mismatched, and that's how they would be on your wedding day.
Okay. I picked Beth because I knew she was going to basically guide me through everything seamlessly. Today was so easy, we went through everything, and I feel really good about what my wedding day is going to be like. I don't think I would change anything.
Okay, great.
With so many details to maintain, Beth employs a team of specialists to help execute her vision.
Weddings are definitely a huge undertaking, and obviously I can't do it on my own. So I have a team of vendors, my floral designers, my drinkists who will make custom cocktails, to my photographers. And then of course I have a production team that takes care of lighting and builds structures for us. And it's definitely very stressful to create the perfect day for someone. It's a memory they're gonna have all their life. So I'm really lucky I have an amazing support team. They make me look good. Brides all over the nation appreciate the art of weddings and the art of entertaining, and just kind of learning how to create a beautiful environment where they're still kind of taking care of their guests and everyone walks away with an amazing memory. The art of weddings means to me just creating an experience that everyone that's a part of will never forget.